don't know how you time these things, Mr. Chairman, but it's just perfect. Seconds before we go live with you, Letitia James officially being charged by the FBI. Your take on this, the table is yours.
Well, yeah, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, she is being charged with the same thing as you said that she alleged President Trump did. And I think that there was like a huge fine that was imposed on the president. I think it was like $300 million, if I remember correctly. And it looks like the underlying issue that she's being charged with is what we got from I think the finance board or whether this agency. They said that she falsified documents. She said, and she did so to get better terms and a better rate on the loan she was applying for. Here's the bottom line, though, Benny. You can't say your principal residence is in Virginia if you're the Attorney General of New York. It just doesn't work that way. But that's what's alleged that she did. Not to mention, I think on another loan application, she said her father was her husband. And again, I haven't seen the evidence, but there must be something there. The Justice Department wouldn't be proceeding as they are. Again, it's the old principle. The left always accuses us of what they're doing, and that's what it looks like is happened here with the Attorney General from New York.
What should happen to the Attorney General? I mean, you are in very interesting waters here. If found guilty, these are federal crimes. What should happen to Letitia James?
Well, maybe how about a fine of this $300 million like that was levied against President Trump? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the statute actually says. I don't know if there's really strong evidence here. There must be, or the good folks at the Justice Department under Attorney General Bondi and Todd Blanche and Kash Patel at the FBI, there must be something here. They wouldn't be proceeding as they are. If it goes to trial and she's found guilty and what that entails and what kind of sentence, we'll have to wait and see.
Mr. Chairman, you're the king of oversight in the House, and there's been quite a bit made over the last 24 hours by your colleague, James Comer, who says, no, there is no Jeffrey Epstein evidence. It's all been destroyed. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel out today saying, not only is there evidence, there's 10,000 plus tapes that we have in our possession. Wow. And that we're going through them right now. Now, you've been searching for these documents. You've been searching through the federal intel agencies for documents for decades now. Have you heard anything about this? Can you give us any update?
No, I don't know. I leave that totally with, I look, what I do know is that it's night and day between what we had under Garland and Wray, what we now have under Attorney General Bondi and Kash Patel. We did subpoenas on other issues to Kash 6, 8, 10 weeks ago. The response we got, again, night and day. So I know they're doing a good job. I leave it up to them how they handle this issue and other issues, because I have complete faith and trust in them. And I've seen what they've done thus far and the attitude and the action that they've had. So I'll leave it up to them. Again, when they release this information, that's their call.
So have you subpoenaed any information along these lines?
No,
is there any interest from congressional committees?
Well, certainly the Oversight Committee, Chairman Comer, with the subcommittee, the select subcommittee that was set up with Anna Paulina Luna, they have an interest and they're actively pursuing all this. You don't need two committees doing that, so that's been left to the Oversight Committee, and they'll work with the Justice Department and they'll get the information on the time frame that makes sense. What I do know is when we've asked the Justice Department for answers, for a response, for even subpoenas, we have gotten that information. And when we don't get it right away, they tell us why. And it's a good reason they're going through. Like we're asking, as an example, we're asking about the 26 confidential human sources who were there on January 6th. 17 went in restricted space. 4 went in the Capitol. 2 were asked to be there that day by the FBI. None of them had authorization to enter the Capitol. So we got all kinds of questions. They're putting that information together, getting it to us, keeping us informed as they go. So they're working with us, and I assume they're doing the same on this issue with Chairman Comer.
That's shocking to me, Mr. Chairman. So you're telling me that FBI agents were not allowed to be inside of the United States Capitol, or to not authorized, and what we've seen in some of the body cam footage, which I'm sure we've seen less than 1% of all that's available, is that there were undercover agents working for the Metropolitan Police that were encouraging people to commit crimes, encouraging them to go into the Capitol, opening up doors and telling them to go into the Capitol building. Are we going to get more reporting on what actually happened on the day of January 6th?
I want to know. I want to know how much these guys were paid, how long they've been on the payroll. Were they really the good confidential human sources? What were they told to do that day? The two you specifically asked to be there that day who went in the Capitol, were they the first to go in the Capitol? Did they go through the Capitol through a door, through a broken window? What were they saying? I want to know all that information, because I think that sets a context and a framework for how we evaluate what took place on that day. And so and the fact that we didn't have this information a year ago in the last Congress, the Inspector General had this information, waited until after the election before it was made public. This is based on his report. So we got a lot of questions we want answers to, and that's what we're asking. And the Kash Patel FBI is working with us. We know that wouldn't happen with. It didn't happen with Chris Wray. He would never answer a question under oath about were there undercover assets there that day. He wouldn't respond. So that's the big difference. And again, we're working with them, and we want answers to those questions.
Mr. Chairman, on the screen there was a very curious case where a J6 rioter was handcuffed, and then they had his handcuffs taken off of him by the Capitol Police, and they fist bumped each other. And that's always been very curious to us, this footage. And it was first revealed by Tucker Carlson, and we can't quite figure out what's going on here. Can you please expound upon what you think's happening here? And then can you tie that into the strangeness of the pipe bomber that, for the life of us, we still can't figure out why the FBI has zero interest in finding the pipe bomber.
He's on video, and you can't figure it out. He's walking around, multiple pictures of the guy who planted the pipe bomb outside the RNC and the DNC. It's like, all I know is this FBI can't tell us who planted the pipe bombs, can't tell us who leaked the Dobbs opinion, and can't tell us who put the cocaine at the White House. But they can do all kinds of, they can say that the shooting clear back 8 years ago on our colleague, Steve Scalise, they can say that was suicide by cop when everyone knows it was domestic terrorism. He had a freaking piece of paper in his pocket with 6 Republican members of Congress's name and description on the piece of paper. But no, it was suicide by, it wasn't a domestic terrorist. And the reason they say that, we all know why, is because it doesn't fit the narrative. The narrative was, oh, you got to be a MAGA hillbilly from flyover country. That's the domestic terrorism, not some left-wing lunatic who's got a hit list in his pocket. So this is the FBI that can't get us the answers we want. I mean, not Kash Patel. They're working on getting us those answers, but the previous FBI just couldn't do those things because they were too busy saying pro-life Catholics were extremists and moms and dads at school board meetings need to be investigated.
Mr. Chairman, I know we're up against a hard out, but since you brought it up, I have to go here. When you're talking about left-wing domestic extremism, assassins, and people that want to kill Republican politicians, of course, the archetype there is going to be Matthew Thomas Crooks, who donated through the ActBlue platform, and a platform that I know that you're investigating right now, who donated to Joe Biden to far left-wing causes, who then got 8 shots off on the president, hitting the president in the head. And we know nothing about Matthew Thomas Crooks. Now, Matthew Thomas Crooks was on camera using a phone, calling somebody on FaceTime right before he shot President Trump. He trained at a rifle range that was used by Homeland Security. We've never seen the inside of his home. We've never seen the inside of his cellular device, the contents of his computer, his searches, his chats. We've seen nothing from the feds. Are you interested in finding out what actually happened there? Will we ever know anything, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I think not only are you and I interested, I think the American people are interested, that they'd like to know how this happens, who this individual was. They're just sort of basic questions that I think the taxpayers, the citizens of this great country, when there was an assassination attempt on the current commander-in-chief, who was, the leading candidate back when this took place last summer, I think those are questions that deserve to have answers too. And we know if it was reversed, the press would be going so hard, the mainstream press would be going so hard at it, we probably would have more answers. Of course, the mainstream press doesn't want to do it because it involved President Trump. So yeah, let's get those answers. And as soon as we can to that issue and a host of others, and frankly, ActBlue as well. I mean, this organization, 7 people have left. We're working to have interviews of those 7 individuals who left ActBlue because we think they had no regard for fraud prevention in their fundraising apparatus. And this organization was raising unbelievable $2 and $3 million a quarter. Democrat candidates for Congress were raising that no one had ever heard of before, like the brand new candidates raising that kind of money. That just doesn't happen. And we have some correspondence in our investigation thus far that shows they had very little regard for proper fraud control measures. They were just like, bring in the money. So we do want to talk with those individuals.
So you're going to talk with those individuals. Are there going to be charges? Because right now, Act Blue, and we have the article right here, your work here, top House committees accuse Democrat fundraising giant facilitating bad actors, bombshell DOJ letter. The letters are great, Mr. Chairman, but, are we ever going to see people in handcuffs for this? It's clearly what they charged, like Paul Manafort for, and they went after Trump's first term. People who accepted a cocktail at a bar were charged with fraudulent acceptance of campaign dollars and money. What's going to happen next?
Well, so we sort of come full circle because remember, we did all kinds of letters and stuff to these prosecutors who were going after President Trump, the whole lawfare and everything else. And now what we find out is, Letitia James is being investigated. So again, we can't charge anyone. We can do investigations. We can't personally investigate or investigate persons like you see only the Justice Department can do that. Only the executive branch. And we're seeing that now from Attorney General Bondi's team. When they've opened this investigation into Letitia James. So that's how it operates. What we do under the Constitution is oversight. We dig in there, we find out what's going on, and then it's up to, if there needs to be some kind of further investigation or prosecution, that's up to the Justice Department.
All right. In closing here, what should happen if Act Blue is found to be, as we have elucidated many times in this program, facilitating fraud from dark money sources, presumably international sources, that are trying to influence American elections? What should happen?
Well, again, if there's criminal activity, if there's violation of our election law, campaign finance law, then of course the Justice Department will look at that, evaluate that, and decide if they move forward. Our job is oversight, getting the facts out there, and the committees that are working on this are Ways and Means Oversight and of course Judiciary, or not Ways and Means, excuse me, the House Administration, because they have jurisdiction over election law. So House Administration, Oversight, and us are looking into this, and we're going to continue to do so.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bo Nickel had a rough go at the UFC. I'm not sure if you saw that, but
the knee to the head was tough, wasn't it? Man.
We had it's obligated in our contract with Chairman Jordan that we must ask a wrestling question. So this is us fulfilling our. We have no contract, but yes, we have to. Did you see that? And your thoughts?
I haven't been able to watch the full fight yet because I didn't get. On Saturday I didn't watch it. I've seen just the highlights where he went down. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I do want to watch it. I tried to find it the other day, but I haven't. I will do that.
All right. Wyatt Henderson now has his photo in the White House, which I think is pretty neat.
I saw that. Funny. That's funny you said. I saw that the other day. I thought that. Well, no, I saw another athlete who was getting picked. Another wrestler. I didn't see Wyatt, but I saw another athlete from the Big Ten or from the NCAA tournament who was a picture with the president.
There we go. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
Godspeed.